Kendrick Lamar just dropped his music video for Luther, and Drake is in shambles, y'all.
Well, right now with Kendrick Lamar, the
It's
next phase of his
crazy.
plan to take over hip hop and his all time run in the music industry has continued, as right before his Grand National Stadium tour starts, Kendrick just released a music video to the song that has not left the #1 spot for what is about to be 8 weeks in none other than Luther. And really now, with the visuals
Mm.
to go along with this song, what it seems like now is that this run Kendrick is having is gonna last a lot longer. And now, from all of the storytelling and messaging in this video, to the subs that Kendrick is throwing right back at Drake in the best way possible after Drake has been trying to mess with Kendrick once again after his Nokia video. I mean, overall, with this brand new video from Kendrick, he has given us something that a lot of people are going to be talking about for so many reasons, because in typical fashion from him, it just opened up so many more doors to what's coming next. And now, before we go any further into this, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It helps me out a ton. And so now,
Definitely leave a like, subscribe to my man Fantastic Hip Hop, subscribe to my channel G Reacts. Let's get into this. I'm gonna give you some of my thoughts and breakdown at the end. You know, we go all the way in on this channel. We keep it real. I am the best reporting in hip hop. Let's get it.
with that said, when it comes to Kendrick Lamar and the Luther music video, before we even go into everything that this just paved the way for, as it has seemed like recently in the industry that there has been this effort to try and push Drake's Nokia to compete with Luther and push this new round of a Drake and Kendrick beef almost, where instead of releasing diss tracks, they are competing for a top charting record. Well, after Drake for some reason thought he could take Luther and Kendrick's #1 spot and release a music video where he was subbing Kendrick in so many different ways and have that work, after messing around and thinking he was finally going to get a win with what Kendrick Lamar has created. While Nokia may have already been losing to Luther before it had a video and that song never had more support, Drake is now officially never going to get ahead of this record, and really it seems like no artist is going to for a very long time, because with how stunning these visuals are and how they are about to be accompanied by an entire tour with both artists, Kendrick and SZA are just defining winning like nobody else is. But now when it comes to dissing Drake in the video, which has been a new iteration of Drake's back and forth so clearly, as again, Nokia's video was really more of a Kendrick diss than it even was a moment to showcase that record. Well, for Luther, Kendrick is not dissing Drake here within these super in-your-face ways that obviously just spell out that you are trying to get at him and that this is what you are watching is about. Because again, let's remember that Kendrick knows this is a top-charting melodic song that is supposed to be enjoyable and calm over everything else. And of course, knowing this, instead of making a weird homage to the person you're in a beef with like Drake did, Kendrick just tells a story here that has nothing to do with the guy whatsoever or any beef, and instead has a lot more detail in terms of creating a bigger narrative that relates to the track. But at the same time, while doing all of that, Kendrick fills in the lines and ties this thing together with trolling that if you are in the know about what's going on and everything with Drake especially. I mean, for Drake and OVO, they are gonna be in shambles about, because first off, even with the timing of this video releasing, this is the start of the new music tracking week, and this is the moment in time where Drake and OVO were gonna make one all-out push for the last time to try and get Nokia to #1. And so with Kendrick putting this video out for this record that already has the lead right now, again, what he just did was make it all the more impossible for Drake and made sure that he is never gonna be able to even act like he has made a comeback, and he will never be able to get that #1 because of that. And again, this just shows you how while Drake disses people for the audience to understand, Kendrick just wants to come in, win, and make the best things possible. He is really on a completely different level because of that. And now when it comes to the actual presentation of the video, first off, with the black and white aesthetic that the video switches in between, Kendrick really has shown how to do a video like this, but again, we shouldn't be surprised because this is the exact camera and color palette that have already been used in key storytelling moments for him, like when he was doing the Grand National Tour video.
Not only that, when he using these color palettes and he using this black and white, he kind of taps into like a certain vibe. It'd be like a poetic justice type vibe. It'd be like that 90s vibe, that 90s love vibe. You get what I'm saying? That poetic 90s vibe. I love when he be on that. Come on.
To announce it with SZA, and with Kendrick switching in and out of color here and of itself. Again, this entire detail and component to the video, while not having its primary reason be to troll Drake, as the use of it is to tell a story and create a visual identity for this track and era of his career, it ends up being great that something like this just shows how much Nokia failed and didn't understand what it was trying to do whatsoever. And now really the funniest troll that Kendrick has done with this entire thing all comes down to who directed the video itself, which this time around it was not Dave Free as usual, which tells me that he must be doing something bigger for Kendrick and PG behind the scenes, is none other than director Karina Evans. And now who she is first off a Toronto native, which is already hilarious, but making the troll even funnier on Kendrick's end In the past, she worked with Drake and directed some of his most popular videos from the era where he was arguably the biggest he ever was, with his Scorpion album, as she directed all of the lead singles for that record, including tracks like Nice for What, In My Feelings, and I'm Upset. And with this, again, Drake really needs to take notes because this is how you diss and troll in a music video, because for Kendrick Lamar, when you think about how fans and people who just like the song are going to hear the video, they're just going to see it as a cool piece of art that matches the song well and gives them something interesting to look at. But meanwhile, beyond the surface, from directorial choices to when it dropped even, you know that Kendrick was trying to troll Drake and once again send a quiet message to him that does not actually step on the art he is making, but is still letting him know that this is his genre, his industry, and that it's his era, and that he is going to have to try a lot harder to even come slightly close. And again, when you compare the subtle trolling in the background of Luther to the weird disses of Nokia, you just see why these guys are in the places they are and why one has kept on winning and why one just keeps losing more and more. But now with the all-time great trolling from Kendrick out of the way, when it comes to the rest of this Luther video, this is really an amazing piece that Kendrick has given us, and even when we compare it to the visuals that we have already seen from him in this era, it's a perfect extension and continuation of everything GNX is about. And now while the Squabble Up music video felt like its own contained thing, this Luther video is much more expansive and is doing a ton of world building for both the album and tour, because as you can see in this video, and even
not only that, he ain't lose sight of the goals and like what he was trying to do in music. Like, it's always about the art. Like, you don't want to get too caught up with the dissing and all that stuff, because then it's going to throw you off what you came here to do. And you're going to have a bunch of malice in your heart, and you're going to have a bunch of malice in your pen. So you always got to redirect yourself and remind yourself, like, hold up, I could do this like he did with Nokia. But then that's going to keep me in that space as an artist. You get what I'm saying? That's going to keep me in that space sonically. No, I got to redirect and refocus. And we seen these beautiful things being done by people like J. Cole. Check out Dreamville. I posted it. That's on my one of my posts I just put up there on my YouTube. Just showing what J. Cole did with Dreamville. He had the biggest festival ever. The biggest festival ever. To do something like that, he had to stop all the BS that was going on and refocus on what he had going on. And now he made history by focusing on his art and what he came here to do within his purpose. Yeah. So Kendrick has to focus on his purpose before a lot of things, because you don't want to get caught up with just being mad and all that stuff, and now the art is off. So yeah.
See how some of the rooms that we are seeing here end up being connected back to that main room that Kendrick Lamar made the GNX trailer in? I mean, this is clearly trying to tell us something bigger, and whether that's about the album itself, a potential deluxe coming, or maybe even what the tour is going to be like and how the presentation is just going to be next level. It's clear that Luther is really trying to expand the scope and is letting us know that what Kendrick Lamar is doing is even bigger than we once understood. But now beyond that, and again, once again, always showing that everything Kendrick does is to expand his art and the story he is trying.
And I gotta say this, not only that, it's not just about him expanding it. It's more about him staying consistent in it. You get what I'm saying? He's going to expand it just by staying consistent. You just don't want to get off track and be all about dissing back and forth, because then you're going to lose the vision. Then you can't break records and do amazing things like J. Cole just did. Yeah, so leaving Drake in that mess that he left him in, and then just going to go do you, is the smartest thing Kendrick can do at this point. Because there's a 48 law of power. Y'all listening? And this 48 law of power states, you never go past the mark you set forth in victory. What do that mean? It means if me and you have a competition and the goal is over here to win, and I get to that goal, if I were to keep racing you further than that goal, I only stand the opportunity to lose. So once I win the goal, I can stop. I have now beat you. We're 1-0, and it'll never be nothing else. You can stay there as a loser, and your best bet is to try to get a round 2 with me if I feel like it. But you are the only one who stands to win something in a round 2. So Kendrick, being the smart guy that I know he is, because he got smart people around him also, you see who he's aligned with nowadays, he's going to know re-engaging with Drake in any way is a waste of time. I wouldn't re-engage. That would be a unwise move by a king. You get what I'm saying? I would look at it as foolish if he were to re-engage, honestly, at this point, because you've already hit your mark that you set forth in victory. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, he just got to keep doing his thing that he been doing. Keep staying consistent and don't fall in any traps. Like if you already have seized the crown of hip hop as the king, what are we doing? Like why would you re-engage with somebody that you've already defeated? You only stand to lose. Yeah, that's one of my favorite 48 laws of power. You'll hear me talk about that on this channel a lot because I believe in it. And I see a lot of people losing or going through a bunch of stuff after they already won. It's insane. All right. So it's your boy, What's Up G. Don't forget to drop a like on this, comment, subscribe. How did y'all feel about the Luther music video? I thought it was beautiful. I thought it caught his vision. I didn't know the part about the director because it honestly felt right at home for Kendrick. It felt good. It felt authentic, bro. And that's something we ain't getting from Drake right now. It felt authentic. It felt like Kendrick. It felt like vintage Kendrick. All right. If ain't nobody told you they love y'all, I love y'all. I'm out, y'all.